Good morning. About 6 years ago, Idlewild Presbyterian became a founding member of a local coalition called MICAH, with the aim of organizing the community for systematic change through collective action. MICAH stands for Memphis Interfaith Coalition for Action and Hope, and initially was comprised of about 50 area faith-based and community-minded organizations, Black, brown, and white, Christian, Jew, and Muslim, that saw a need for change. My name is Michael Peeler, and I've been a part of Idlewild's MICAH core team since that time, and the coalition has grown to over 80 member organizations and has been active in trying to effect change. Other Idlewild core team members are Lee Taylor White, Jim Lavernier, Melissa Peeler, David Rhodes, Claire Stallings, and Mary Lou McCaw. MICAH's current platform concentrates on three pillar issues: economic equity, education equity, and race and class equity in the social system, in the justice system. MICAH seeks to organize and speak to our community leaders, always seeking to live the message that is found in Micah 6:8, to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with our God. The purpose of MICAH is not to replace each congregation or community organization's efforts, but instead to amplify the voice and the impact by working together interdependently. Noteworthy, MICAH also formed a youth council to include and listen to the voice of the next generation that will, after all, be the leaders of tomorrow. Working within the Education Equity Task Group, Claire Stallings and Jim Lavernier have been engaged in dialogue with public officials to increase school board member decision transparency and expand community input opportunities as it relates to the 2022 superintendent search process and other key decisions. Additionally, efforts have focused on ensuring funding for clean, safe, and updated facilities, adequate support staffing of nurses and school counselors, and adequate teacher compensation. Our core team chair, Lee Taylor White, participates with race and class equity and focuses on challenges within the justice system to try to reduce or eliminate the pathway to prison that all too often becomes a sentence and system they're unable to escape. With the rise of incarceration rates, poor people and Black and brown communities in particular have been criminalized at disproportionate rates, and their futures end in a dead end. As a career banker, my direct connection with the core team has been in connection with the Economic Equity Task Force. We focused on financial literacy initiatives and affordable housing options for underserved parts of the community through 4 economic summits held in Orange Mound, Hickory Hill, Fraser, and South Memphis. We've been able to connect community stakeholders to resources that can help them map a path to a better future. Another team within economic equity has been dedicated to improving public transportation. Mary Lou's going to share some of the details of how MICAH works with you.
How does MICAH work to affect change? You heard Michael talk about the housing summits that brought banks and people together in their own neighborhoods. Another example, right about this time a year ago, as both the city and the county were finalizing their budgets, the MICAH transit team, of which I am a part, successfully used the influence it had gained and the recognition MICAH had built over the previous 3 years to assure that for the first time, both the city and the county passed ordinances to designate funding for our woefully inadequate bus system. Both bodies voted to designate certain retiring pilot revenues to MATA, funds that by 2033 will accrue to approximately $32 million a year. How can MICAH make such a claim? In addition to public comments acknowledging MICAH's role made by other city and county officials at those meetings, a city councilman and a county commissioner both changed their votes from nay to yay, stating in the meetings that conversations with MICAH Transit had changed their minds. Achieving that kind of result did not happen overnight. For 3 years, we met with the top decision makers in government and at MICAH, learned as much as possible about the complexities and roadblocks, and listened to those most affected, the bus riders. We collaborated with the Sierra Club and the Greater Memphis Chamber, faithfully attended city council and county commission meetings, always urging them to make an efficient public transit a priority. And there were public events and press conferences to inform the public. MICAH is not a hand-wringing group of do-gooders. It is a nonpartisan, well-organized coalition, 83 churches and organizations who together are taking action to make Memphis better. You may have read the column this past Tuesday in the Daily Memphian by our own Idlewild member, Jeff Calkins, where he announced a new direction in his reporting. Perhaps you are feeling the way he is, and I quote, "As much as I love Memphis sports, I have come to love the city of Memphis more. And this feels like a pivotal moment for the city of Memphis, doesn't it? Given all the challenges, we have a crime problem, and a police problem, and a school problem. And we can't even seem to agree on how to talk about those problems constructively. It feels like every day there's a letter in the Daily Memphian blaming someone else for one problem or another. If we could fix things through finger pointing, we'd be well on our way. So I'm going to see if I find a way to contribute," unquote. What about you? Join with us in MICAH and make change for the better happen in Memphis.
Thanks, Mary Lou. Since its founding, MICAH has held public meetings around the election cycle to voice specific asks of candidates and people in positions of power to hold them accountable for their public stances on issues that matter. Idlewild's been present at these public meetings with 25 to 50 team members in attendance, and we've seen progress in achieving and advancing the platforms outlined above. In anticipation of the upcoming elections, MICAH is holding its 6th annual public meeting on August 27th from 4 to 6 p.m. at New Sardis Baptist Church. We would encourage anyone with interest in becoming involved to reach out to one of our core team members at one of the tables in the hallway for details. Thank you very much.